All right, what is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about the draft a little bit. I want to talk about the New England Patriots side of things here, obviously, and how the New England Patriots are going to officially be holding the 14th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. And we're going to get into the rest of the picks that the Patriots have later on in this video. Before we get into this though, please make sure you guys leave a big like on this video. It really helps me and the channel out. It tells YouTube, hey, this guy's doing pretty good. I like these videos. Maybe we should show these videos to other people that have not seen this channel yet. It helps me out a ton. It's totally free, along with, of course, subscribing for all your New England Patriots news and commenting your thoughts on who you think the Patriots could draft in this year's draft. But yes, the New England Patriots will officially be holding the 14th overall pick in this year's draft. This is the highest that the New England Patriots have picked since 2008. Believe it or not, back in 2008, they also picked with the 14th overall pick, in which they selected Jerod Mayo. So with that being said, this is very valuable for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, because we never have picks this high. You know, a few years ago, we had the 15th overall pick with Mac Jones. That ended up being the best draft class in general the Patriots have had in the last several years. And now we have a pick higher, in which obviously if the Patriots trade down in the first round, which we're going to talk about later on in this video, you can acquire some pretty good draft capital in return. So for reference, I quickly want to hit on who the other teams are leading up to the Patriots' 14th overall pick, and just kind of talking about the teams that are solidified within the draft order, just so we can know, hey, who are some teams that maybe could trade up, maybe trade down, and kind of look at some competition around where New England will be picking. So this year, the first overall pick came down to the wire between Houston and Chicago, but Chicago does pull it out. They went 3-14. They will hold the number 1 overall pick. Number 2, as you probably could have guessed, the Houston Texans come in here with the 2nd overall pick. They finished on the year 3-13-1. The Arizona Cardinals are coming here in at 3 with the 3rd overall pick. They finished the year 4-13. The 4th overall pick is going to the Indianapolis Colts. They went 4-12-1. The Seattle Seahawks, despite having a pretty good year, are actually going to be picking at number 5 in this draft. And the reason they're going to be picking 5 in this draft is because this pick was acquired from the Denver Broncos just a year ago when they traded Russell Wilson to Denver, because this was Denver's original overall pick. So Seattle is in the playoffs and they hold the 5th overall pick. Seattle so far has absolutely finessed that trade. The 6th overall pick here is going to be going to the Detroit Lions, who also have had a really good season, but this pick was acquired from the Los Angeles Rams. The 7th overall pick is going to be going to the Las Vegas Raiders, who finished 6-11. The 8th overall pick is going to be going to the Atlanta Falcons, who finished 7-10. The 9th overall pick is going to the Carolina Panthers, who also finished 7-10. The Philadelphia Eagles are picking with the 10th overall pick. Yes, the 10th overall pick, despite having one of the best records in the National Football League, because this pick was acquired from the New Orleans Saints. Howie Roseman continues to just finesse in every way, shape, or form as a general manager. The 11th overall pick is going to be going to the Tennessee Titans, who finished 7-10. The Houston Texans are picking again with the 12th overall pick, and a pick that was acquired from the Cleveland Browns due to the Deshaun Watson trade. The New York Jets are going to be picking right before the New England Patriots, finishing 7-10. New England is going to be picking 14th overall, like I mentioned before, finishing 8-9. 15th is going to be the Green Bay Packers, finishing at 8-9. The Washington Commanders will be picking at 16th overall, finishing 8-1. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be picking at 17, finishing 9-8. And then the Detroit Lions will be picking again here with their 2nd first-round pick. This will be their pick, though, as they finished 9-8. So talking about New England here with that 14th overall pick, the possibilities are absolutely endless with what they could do. Now, right now, just looking at their draft picks, which, like I said, we will be touching on, I would expect New England ultimately to trade down. They really don't have that many picks within the top 100. I absolutely believe they want to add at least one more pick within the top 100 here for the draft. So I do think that New England will trade down, but I do think that there is also a world in which they do not trade down and they do pick at 14. So with that being said, if New England does pick here at 14, who are some guys ultimately that I could see them going for? Now, personally, a little bit of a spoiler alert here. I'm going to make a lot of videos on the draft, but I think tackle is probably the most needed position here for the New England Patriots here in the first round. Whether they're looking to get better from a passing standpoint or even just a run game standpoint, it all starts with the offensive line, especially tackle. Whether we're talking right tackle or left tackle, New England might not need just one tackle, but might need two. So overall, whether we're talking about depth or we're talking about one or two starting pieces, tackle is such a need here for New England, and that's where I see them going here. I don't think Peter Skoronski is going to be there right now. He's ranked as the 6th best overall player in this draft. He has an average projection of going around 8th, so I don't think New England will have him as an option there at 14. He's the best tackle on the board. I think there's a lot of teams that need tackles. I think he ultimately does go off the board. Now, Paris Johnson, he is ranked as the 17th best prospect in this year's draft with an average draft projection of going around 16th overall. I think there's a possibility that he is there for New England at 14 if they do decide to go there. But like I said, the second best tackle here on the board, there is a lot of teams that need tackle help, especially earlier on here in the draft. So I could see Paris Johnson also not being there by the 14th overall pick. After that, I don't really think that New England should pick really any other offensive lineman here at 14, guys. Now, there is still a lot to still happen. There is still the Combine. There's still there's still the Rose Bowl, there's still the Reese's Bowl. Like, there's still a lot of things to still happen for players to rise their draft stock and lower their draft stock. But, next up, we're talking about guys like Anton Harrison and Broderick Jones, who, are projected to go anywhere from, Broderick Jones 22 to 23 and Anton Harrison somewhere between, 29 to 31. At that point, don't push it and just trade down. Now, I do think there is also a world in which New England does decide to go with the defensive back, whether that is a cornerback, whether that's a safety, especially if Devin McCourty retires. I think both of those are very much in play also. Now, right now, Cam Smith is considered the best cornerback right now in this draft class. He has a rank of being the 12th best prospect in this year's draft with an average draft projection of going about 14th overall. I think cornerback is becoming more of a luxury pick in drafts and even free agency as the years are going by. So I don't think Cam Smith will be there. He might have an ADP of 14, but I just see him going sooner. Keely Ringo could be a guy that is there at 14. I think there's a real possibility of that. Coming out of Georgia, he has an average draft projection of going 16th, and he actually is considered the 14th best prospect in this draft. Other guys that could potentially go here in the first would be guys like Jalen Jones from Texas A&M. He has an ADP of 21. And then Christian Gonzalez, who is another good player. He has an ADP of going about 31. I think for those guys, you're looking more at trading down a couple of spots. I don't think you need to be picking at 14 for those guys. But, cornerback, I do think that, looking at the second and the third round, you could still get really good prospects within those rounds. So if New England doesn't get a CB in the first, it's not do or die. New England has always valued safety, though, and we really don't have much depth there at safety. I mean, Devin McCourty, Adrian Phillips, Kyle Duggar, those are really your main guys. Adrian Phillips, but Jabril Peppers, is a free agent at the end of the season. So will the Patriots sign him? Will they not sign him? What will they do in free agency? We just don't know. But we get even thinner there at safety if Devin McCourty does retire, not to mention that guys like Kyle Duggar, Adrian Phillips do have issues staying healthy. So I think it is definitely in the cards for New England to select a safety high in this draft, whether that's the first round, the second round, the third round. But if they do want to go with a safety here in the first, a guy like Brian Branch could be a really, really good option for New England. Coming out of Alabama would make a ton of sense for New England. He's ranked as the 15th best prospect in this draft and has an ADP of 18, so that's right around New England's pick. Along with Antonio Johnson coming from Texas A&M, New England could definitely trade down a few spots. They don't need to get Antonio Johnson here at 14. But again, ADP of 28, ranked as a 24th best prospect. I would go Brian Branch over Antonio Johnson, but obviously New England does need options there. But in my own personal opinion, I think New England does trade down. I think you trade somewhere between, probably 20 to 25, that range. Somewhere between there, I think, is somewhere New England would like to trade down. Even looking at past history, that's always where they have liked to trade down, somewhere between 20 to 25. And like I said earlier, I definitely think that New England wants to pick up a top 100 pick, at least another one. Looking at New England's current draft picks, they have 14th overall in the first. They have a second overall pick, in which the number we don't exactly know, but they have the second overall pick. They have the third overall pick from the Panthers. They have a fourth overall pick, another fourth overall pick here from the Rams. They have a 6th-round pick, another 6th-round pick from the Panthers, and then another 6th-round pick here from the Raiders. So currently no 5th round or no 7th round pick. New England is projected to get a couple of comp picks. We will not know those for a couple of months here still. New England was looking at a 3rd round pick for J.C. Jackson, but because of his injury, they're now looking at a 4th round comp pick for J.C., and then they'll probably get a comp pick for Ted Karras. We just don't know in which round that will be as of yet, but expect a couple more draft picks to come along there. But again, you're not going to add a top 100 pick because of a comp pick. I think New England and Belichick will want to add another one of those, currently having 3. So I do think a trade down is imminent. Even if we're looking at some positions of need in the 2nd round, somebody like Brandon Joseph or Jordan Battle at the safety position are some guys that I do like. If you want to look at some guys at the cornerback position that New England could get somewhere between the 2nd to 3rd round, I actually really like Emmanuel Forbes. This guy is a touchdown, a pick-6 machine that they could get somewhere between the 2nd to 3rd round. That would be a good pick if they don't take a corner in the 1st. And then obviously we have some 1st round projected guys that will drop to the 2nd. We saw that in 2021 with Christian Barmore. New England ended up trading early into the 2nd in order to acquire him. That's something they could definitely do again if this does happen. But originally, New England was projected to have around $50-some million in cap space to spend this offseason. That's ranked in the top 5. But now, according to Pat's Cap on Twitter, which is always extremely accurate, he's projecting the Patriots are going to only have about $30 to $35 million to spend, which is going to put them in a bit more of a pickle, which is ultimately going to mean that they have to hit. They have to hit on this year's draft. Even looking into next year's Patriots free agents, you have a lot of key guys: Kyle Duggar, Michael Onwenu, Josh Uche, Hunter Henry, Trent Brown, Kendrick Bourne. I mean, we can go on and on with the list. So New England is definitely going to have to stock up for guys that are going to be on a low-price rookie contract. This draft is going to be very, very important for them to do so, especially if that cap number is lower. But guys, New England will be picking with the 14th overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video, and of course, subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. But like always, I appreciate you guys, and go Pats.